What's up everybody, welcome to General Hospital Envy, my GH after show. Let's get right into it. Elizabeth has her hands on Hayden's diamonds. She spent the entire week pretty much thinking about what she should do. She went to Franco for advice and then she went to Kevin for advice. And by the end of the week she was calling Jordan to tell her that she had evidence against Hayden. So now Ava Jerome was actually with Elizabeth when she found the diamonds. Ava ran into Hayden at the Metro Court and let her know that Elizabeth has the diamonds. Obviously she's not happy. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week. Since this is a soap opera, I can imagine that Hayden will probably stop Elizabeth before she manages to get to the PCPD with the diamonds. And it'll probably turn into blackmail. I think it's obvious by now that they are sisters. Whether or not they're half sisters or full sisters, it's hard to say. Regardless, Heather Weber knows and she is doing her very best to make a profit off of it via Naomi Dreyfus. Only problem is, Naomi is running out of funds. I don't know how she had them in the first place, but she's running out. She doesn't have the funds and Heather is determined to get funds, so she is more than ready and willing to make that secret go sky high. And she tells Franco a little bit about what's going on. Obviously, I don't think Franco's gonna be able to keep that from Elizabeth if they're making them, you know, the next hit couple. Still not a fan, I'm sorry guys, if he was anyone but Franco. So let's talk about Nell. I kept my opinions of her kind of at bay because I released the video a couple days late and I had already seen Monday and Tuesday's episodes at that point. But yeah, something is up. She's either got resting bitch face or she is running one hell of a con. It's so weird. All signs are pointing that it's Carly's daughter, but it just doesn't make sense. I don't want that to be what's going on here, but it looks like it, and she's very much like a young Carly. If you guys watched back then, she came into town running the same con against her mother, getting in her good graces and then getting revenge. I still really want to see Bobby's reaction to her. I know that it's a possibility that the character may not look like the character that she portrayed before, Patricia Spencer, but they just made too much of an effort to keep Bobby and Nell apart, so I want that to be so. If anything, it'll get the ball rolling to see who Nell really is. What's obvious though is that Sonny does not trust her. He knows something is off. And Nell knows that Sonny knows something is off and she's keeping an eye on him. But he is keeping his opinions to himself. Okay, so now Alexis had a bit of a scandal this week. Evidently, a tabloid media outlet called TMI cares enough about Alexis Davis to follow her and got snapshots of her grabbing Christina when they had a bit of an argument at the Metro Court. The headlines were, "Violence runs in the family." I mean, it kinda does. They are Cassadines. I digress. Jordan freaked out and Sonny freaked out because this whole situation could potentially put a wrench in the whole Julian Jerome trial. I have the worst feeling that Julian is probably going to be acquitted for his crimes. It seems the good guys can never win in Port Charles, and that disappoints me slightly because it's so predictable at this point. Meanwhile, Alexis's daughter Christina got her heart broken. She went to Parker thinking that she had called her, but really she just butt dialed her. Parker was like, "BT dubs, I'm going back to my wife." Christina was very upset, and obviously so am I. I wasn't the biggest Parker Christina shipper. The whole scenario was just awkward for me, but God, she just deserves like a good, solid relationship. Man or woman, give the girl a break already. Now to talk about all of my favorite veterans on the show. Laura and Kevin went on their first official date at the Metro Court, because that's the only restaurant in town, besides Floating Rib of course, and it was very cute. They ended up going back to his room at the Metro Court, playing video games and then having sex. I don't think Laura has had sex on the show since like 2001. Unfortunately, their happiness was very short-lived because apparently Kevin has been writing a book about Laura, using some pretty harsh words in the story, describing Laura as a former mental patient going after a dead woman's wishes. I was just starting to fall in love with Laura and Kevin as a couple, but you effed up, dude. That's pretty low. I don't think I'd get over that, and I don't blame Laura if she doesn't get over that. She's gonna be leaving town for a while anyway to put Spencer into boarding school, one that can protect him from Valentine Cassadine. But before she packed her bag, she got a visit from my fave, Robert Scorpio. You guys, I was so excited. I knew he was coming back. I had no idea when. So when he showed up at the door, I literally like squealed out loud and was like, like that was me. I hope he stays for a while. It's hard to say at this point. It's kind of weird having him in town and not Anna. I know that she's probably coming back soon, but I don't know when. But there's a lot of potential storylines that he could be a part of at this point. Anyway, he showed up to Laura's to let her know that he got word from Luke. Much to Laura's relief, because even though Laura and Tracy had gotten confirmation that the skeletons on Cassadine Island were in fact not Luke's, they still hadn't heard from him. So he got word out to Robert, and Robert let Laura know what was going on. She learns that Luke is fine, but he is worried about Valentine Cassadine. Even though he was hauled off to jail in Greece, he doesn't think it's over. Obviously, I don't think it's over either. If he is as much of a badass as the Cassadine legends say, he ain't going to jail. Nothing is gonna stop this guy. And I, for one, am excited to see what happens next. Now, Laura's daughter, Lulu, just found out that she, unfortunately, won't be able to have a baby. Something happened to the embryo, we don't know what. Dante's mom, Olivia, had one of her woo-woo-woos and thinks that she has a granddaughter out there anyway. My guess is that woman that was on Cassadine Island has Lulu's baby. You know, the embryo that Stavros stole from her. I'm guessing that she probably gave birth to Lulu's baby. Hard to say. I'm hoping to see more of Robert. I'm also looking forward to hopefully seeing some movement in the hospital killer storyline because I can only watch so many day players get killed off before I get bored. I'm ready to find out who this killer is and have them go wreak havoc on the hospital some more and soon put an end to this whole mystery. Let me know what you guys thought about General Hospital this week. I will catch you guys next Sunday.